Well, folks, here we are, the end of week 6, and the cream of the crop is starting to rise while the shit of the crop is starting to sink down. Hey, John, how's it feel being at the bottom? Welcome to my neck of the woods. Um, so, we're almost back on track with the videos. Uh, Government's back. Welcome back to the real world, Troy. Thank you. You finally can do your job. But luckily, I had a backup plan, and we're going to have to go through with it because I signed some lucrative contracts. That's right, folks. Sponsors. I got sponsors for the show. So, before we continue on with some highlights of week 6, we might have to take a moment away from one of our words from our sponsors. My life sucks. Hey, JB. Who said that? This is I. Why so down? Well, no one gets me. Work sucks. My fantasy team is garbage. I hate CJ Spiller. Aw, poor JB. You know who doesn't hate you? Who? Flushmans. Flushmans? I don't care if you're rich or poor, dirty or clean, or even Andy, Troy, or Charlie. I just care about fun. Fun? Have a drink. Wow, that's great. There you go, JB. Repress those feelings. I feel better already. Thanks, Flushmans. You're welcome, JB. Flushmans. It helps you forget. So let me formally apologize for no highlights or previews, even though we have a fancy sponsor. Uh, Fortunately, all my papers got lost from the year, and I don't have all the leaders of the pack, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and I don't feel like remaking it right now. But I promise you, throughout the week, I'll make this work out. And when you don't have no funding from the government, you only put in how much you feel like, and right. But now, went on, I got a trust dandy notebook. See, so that'll be good there. So the notes that I have taken to bring the video on. Like I've predicted it, sixth place was at 7-6, so you have to have a winning record. It looks like to get into the league, and it still looks like it's trending that way. So Jenny right now, with their dominant ways, is only 2 games away from clinching into the championship playoffs, which is pretty good. Troy texted me and said that Jenny's upset that she's not getting enough credit, but you can, if you want more credit, you can do a video. So, in the reverse factor, then 7 losses means you're pretty much clinched for the Dumber Bowl. So, myself, Andy, and John, we're just 3 games away from pretty much sealing that fate to where we basically have to start looking into the week 13 scenario of how do we not lose that week, because you got to win week 13. 14, sorry, 14. You got a week win 14 to ensure you're not playing for the Dumper Bowl in week 15. But it's anybody's league, and I'm still not counting anybody out, even though I drafted like crap, apparently. You look at Kyle. Kyle started 0-3, now he's 3-0, and he's in 3rd place, right? So anything can happen. Um, and the fact that, man, you look, 7 teams, 7 out of 12 teams are at 3-3. There's 2 critical games, Dead Sea Scrolls versus Eric is Horrible, and Just the Tip versus T. Luke Trashers, too. Both 3-3 matchups. Are going to determine really that whole mess up in the middle. As teams are, 2 of those are going to go 4-3 and 2 are going to go 3-4. So it's going to change the landscape. Those are my games to watch. uh, for the week there. So other points I want to touch on. Remember, doing the league pick'em, if you win that, you get the chance, or you get the right to draft the number one team in this year's World Cup out of 32 teams. And uh, to reiterate, it includes, because I know some people didn't get to see the video. The video that explained everything was 32 minutes long. So I'm going to give you a brief overview. And I couldn't put it on YouTube. I can only put 15 minutes on YouTube. So I can't do it. So for those who didn't get to see, how next year's draft order is going to be determined is by the Olympic hockey, Olympic curling, and the World Cup. And what it is I'll give you a more breakdown later. I'll probably put it on the league board of exactly what everything's going to do. And where your team places is your number, and then obviously it's averaged by the number of teams you had. And then obviously ranked 1 through 12. By no means is it easy to calculate or predict. But the reason why the league pick'em became really important is because when you look at 32 teams in the World Cup, if you can guarantee that you're going to get like a top 4 team, because you're not going to go on a limb and just grab willy-nilly Greece or Bosnia Herzegovina, you're going to go out and you're going to try to get that team that you think is pretty much dominant, like a Brazil or a Spain, and try to see if you can't win. I mean, the biggest rally would say maybe if you're going for USA. But you want a team that's going to finish in the top 5, because if you're grabbing a team that's going to finish in the top 25 to 32, that's going to kill your draft stock. So, and everybody's going to draft 2 teams deep in that order. So having that first pick actually does come very, very critical in where you draft. So like I said, I'll break that down more in detail, put that on the league board, and trust me, it'll be fun to watch the Olympics again this year, just like in basketball. Except I'm gonna make you watch curling. Also, other side notes that the league commissioner wanted me to bring up. So Katie took a step away to do her master's and school and work, and Kara was invited into the league, and so Katie's now, we're talking at that point where we're going to talk about how we're going to introduce Katie back in to the league, and you can't necessarily just kick people out, and we're not looking necessarily for volunteers to leave, but the suggestion has been tossed around, and we're going to make it out there, and I'm sure Eric will put a league board and kind of a more feeler out there, but now is a good time to bring it up. Expanding to a 14-man league. That's right, folks, you heard it. A 14-man league. With the introduction of Katie back in, and then my fiance, Sam, wanting to join the fray too. I am for this, not just because it's my fiance, but a 14-man league is pretty challenging. There are leagues out there that are 16, so it's not impossible. One of the things that would be done to change everything is that Eric has proposed dropping of a bench player, and so less bench, more people out there. If I were to put it to my vote on it, since we probably put both things to a vote, I would say keep the bench the way it is. I know it thins it out, but you have the chance to bury, maybe pick up a sleeper that you think later on you can hide an injured person a little bit more. It's a deeper league, yes, but I think the competitive will be there. And then everyone plays each other once during the year. Just kind of a way. I think it would work. I really do. But like I said, it's not my decision. It's not necessarily the commissioner's decision. It probably will be put up to a league vote. Just want to get it out there now. And then the one thing that the commissioner also wanted to talk about would be a live draft. It's something out there for you. I know it's tough. John and Travis and Troy and Jenny, being 3 out of 4 being out of state sometimes. The thing is that it would be the week before Labor Day. So if you could plan it. If not, we maybe even to Skype it for the Troy and the Jenny. But uh, it's one of those things. I know it's tough. There's a lot of things. Kids. Uh, we're talking what 10 months away. Who knows? I mean, the way Fleshman's helps you forget may not even be here in 10 months. And by be here, I mean like in the state, because who knows? We've all got lives. So that's that. It's kind of what I said, a touch up. C.J. Spiller is the devil. That was a terrible draft. Again, if I don't draft idiots, I draft, or draft injured people, I draft idiots. So that's great. Well, that's this week's video. I promise next week I will do my homework in my notebook, and I'll get all the stats back up, and we'll start running with that. I like that. The Legos are going to come back. They will. Don't worry. It's there. It's just, sometimes life happens. But the fact that you can't hold me against Andy is that it's going into week 7, and I've still done videos every time. So Andy, you owe me for that. Maybe I could be a guest on your show, and you could be a guest on my show. Who knows? Yeah, who cares? But regardless, we're entering what are now the most critical weeks. The next 3 weeks of this league will determine playoff positioning. So I gotta win. So Bob, you're 4-2. Take a bye week. Trust me, you'll win some other ones. You'll get in the playoffs. You're only 3 games away. Drop this one, okay? Drop it, and just be a pal. Don't be an Eric Stanzik. That's a douchebag. Look it up into the stores. It's there. I'll prove it next week. I'm gonna go and buy the source to show you that. Well, folks, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Fleshman, for giving us enough money to do this video. Until next week, see you on the Fantasy Gridiron.